To say that the 2022-23 season has been a disappointing one for Chelsea would be something of, well, an understatement, let's say. They got new owners, spent plenty of money, but have subsequently sacked 2 coaches and, what's more, have no silverware to show from this season and will also have no Champions League football come the end of the season. That's how bad their form is going. Now, we know that in football, a manager is often the key component. And considering that Chelsea have now gotten 2 full-time managerial sackings under their belt already, makes it imperative that the next man they bring in, well, he can actually, turn the things around rather quickly, especially considering the fact that now you are hearing rumblings of discontent, not just from fans, which to be fair is expected when results are going poorly, also from current players as well as former players. We'll delve into all this in a bit, but first, let's take a look and see who it is that are currently being seen as some of the favourites to the job at, the London club. The first and most obvious one is, of course, Julian Nagelsmann, and you can understand why that's the case. He's available. He's been sacked by, of course, Bayern Munich very recently for, in fact, former Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel. And he is, in fact, he fits the owner's sort of profile, let's say. And why is that? Is because alongside, of course, like Graham Potter, they wanted someone who was young and who could be around for the long term. Nagelsmann's only about 35 and, truth be told, has his whole career ahead of him, so in that sense, he does fit the bill. However, there is a little bit of trepidation around him considering the fact that he did in fact end up getting sacked by Bayern because apparently he wasn't able to actually manage the egos within the dressing room. That is something that has been a problem at big clubs always, and to be able to have a success or any shot of a success at Chelsea, he'd need to be able to actually figure out how to do that. We know for a fact that his ability to coach teams is, well, next level. He's a very good tactician, has very clear ideas about the kind of football he wants to play, but whether or not he is able to, translate those ideas as well as, of course, more importantly, connect with the senior members of Chelsea's squad. That is going to be the real key challenge for Nagelsmann. Of course, as I said, he's probably being seen as the outright favourite at this point, but there are other contenders as well, including Luis Enrique. Of course, Enrique is someone who would actually fit the Chelsea manager mold a lot more. And in fact, there have been plenty of fan polls which have been conducted. Most of them do in fact favour Enrique coming into, power, for the main reason that he has a trophy-winning pedigree. Don't forget, along in that Barcelona side where he was coaching Messi, Suarez and Neymar all at the same time, won plenty of trophies. In fact, they won 6 trophies in one particular season. And you would understand why it is that Chelsea fans would be keen to come in. They've always had a win-now mentality, and he, in fact, fits that. However, he apparently made a series of demands to the owners, and that these are all just going off media reports, and it does seem like they aren't entirely convinced just yet. Why exactly that's the case, we'll come to in just a bit. But there is another man who's being linked, and he's seen as something of an outside contender. And that man is, of course, Mauricio Pochettino. Now, Pochettino is a name who, as I said, reason being he's an outside contender is that he's actually been out of work since he got sacked by PSG, and that was like pretty much a season back. So it's been a while. And another reason that he'd be seen as an outside contender is due to his links with Tottenham Hotspur. Now, obviously, Chelsea and Spurs have a pretty healthy rivalry. Would a former Spurs manager, one who actually consistently had the beating of Chelsea during his time at North London, be openly accepted? Maybe, but there'd be many who would also point to his record of not being able to be a trophy-winning manager and say that maybe he's perhaps not the right fit. That being said, he's someone the club are clearly keen on because he was tapped up potentially to take over from the job once Thomas Tuchel was sacked, and he could very well be in with a shot right now. But as I said, the reason that it's very important for Chelsea that they get this next management decision right is because the club are currently looking at, you'd be not surprised to hear this, looking at, let's say, not being able to spend as much in the summer and potentially looking at a big hit in terms of being in the red. Why? Well, that's pretty evident. They've signed a lot of players in recent times, and obviously there had to come a time when that spending would have to end. Otherwise, they would be in breach of course, FFP rules. And this is something that will come as a relief not just to fans but also the players, because recently one of Chelsea's most senior-most players, Thiago Silva, after that Champions League loss to Real Madrid, spoke out and said something rather interesting. This is what he said. In fact, let's first look at what it is that Didier Drogba, a Chelsea legend, had to say on this entire matter. He said that, look, I don't recognize my club. It's no longer the same club. There's a new owner and a new vision. Of course, we try to compare it with what happened during the Roman Abramovich era, where a lot of players were bought in, but the decisions were very intelligent. the decisions were very intelligent. It does in fact refer to the fact that many people see Chelsea's recruitment, let's say, as scattergun. And that's a criticism that has come not just even from Chelsea fans, but obviously rival fans. And this is echoed in some ways by Thiago Silva. And this is what he said. He said, I think the first step has been made, an incorrect step, but it has been made. We had to increase the size of the changing room because it didn't fit the size of the squad. We need to stop and put a strategy in place. Otherwise, next season, we could make the same mistake. The message is simple: sign less players and get in a new manager, someone who will be able to in fact manage all of these players. And of course for Chelsea, one of the main things they'd have to do is look to trim down the squad, because there's over 30 players in the squad. There's no way is that sustainable going forward. There will be plenty of outgoings. A lot of players will in fact be seeking newer challenges, mainly because they know for a fact there's no way they'd be getting any playing time at Chelsea. And Chelsea would hope that those signings can actually raise some funds, ensure that they don't actually breach FFP regulations, and maybe give the new manager a better shot at working things out than what Graham Potter had. Or that, for that matter, which even better than what Thomas Tuchel had, because Tuchel too was left a little, let's say, dissatisfied by the kind of recruitment, but it's imperative they get that as well as the managerial recruitment right. If you ask me, I'd prefer either Nagelsmann or Enrique, but who do you want? Well, you can let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like the video, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, download the AajTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead and check out some other videos that we've done. For now, from my side, goodbye.